Protectionism or maximizing proceeds of our manufacturing sector, which has the potential of helping this country solve the perennial unemployment problems in the country. But we seems to have normalized this for decades. Welcome to the Bold Analysis. This is the most informative political podcast in this country. Today, we delve deep in the politics of foreign investors. We look at how the energy sector is really a letdown in achieving what Uhuru envisioned for this country in 2022 moving forward. Uhuru government with William Ruto had an ambitious target of making sure that in manufacturing sector contributes to at least 15% of national GDP by 2022. Sadly, we are far from it, and according to latest statement by President Ruto, that is not where the country is. The government made a very and William Ruto made an announcement sometime back in Kilifi, and I'll play for you that clip, that the country wants to ban importation of products that can be produced here locally. This will allegedly start with the steel and iron products. Announcement made during the launch of the steel manufacturing company, Devki Steel Mills in Kilifi. And in that event, the president spoke passionately about making sure that he protects the local industry, something that experts seems not to be really in agreement with. But without much ado, let's get what the president said.
Mulio katika sehemu hii ya viwanda ya kwamba serikali ya Kenya itasimama kidete na nyinyi kuhakikisha kwamba hizo bidhaa zote ambazo tunaweza kutengeneza hapa Kenya hatuagizi tena kutoka nchi za nje. Tayari ripoti tulio nayo ni kwamba kwa muda huu mfupi kampuni ambazo zilikuwa zinatengeneza chuma kama hii, kampuni 16 tayari zimefungwa kwa sababu ya mambo ya ushuru, kuondolewa kwa bidhaa ambazo zinatoka nchi za nje. Sababu hiyo Wakenya karibu 5,000 wamekosa ajira. Na ndio sababu hiyo kwa miaka 5 tumerudisha chini percentage ya mambo ya viwanda ama contribution ya industrialization kutoka 9% ya GDP mpaka imefika imerudi nyuma mpaka 7% ya GDP.
The Devki founder, Narendra Naval, made a very passionate appeal to the president in that event. And it seemed he was speaking about what went wrong during Uhuru Kenyatta's regime. And so the question that experts have been asking is, did we just try to extend amnesty to the steel and iron sector importation first, or that is a holistic, or that is a policy that will cut across different sector? We'll have to find out that one in this channel. But don't you also think that many hold opinion that such a policy, however much it has the potential of boosting our local industries, not local industries, I think industries working within Kenya, it has the potential of boosting them, and that is in good way, because it is going to employ, they're going to employ many people. Most of our skilled and non-skilled labor are going to find jobs within the country. But that policy of protecting our local space from foreign investors, or rather from foreign infiltration, don't you think that it's a policy that should also guide what is happening in the maize. Look at how this gentleman is depressed after harvesting his maize. However, it also creates a monopolistic market for different projects, for different products. And the worst thing that can happen is when you have a market that is just run under monopoly, where one person runs the show. It's even very difficult for government to regulate a monopolistic market. So the issue of the competition is here. And what many people maybe want to answer and what you can really look at. Do you think a ban on importation will be will be enough intervention to protect the local companies? That is a question that we'll have to find out. Now, look at this photo there. That is the photo of Anthony Mwaura. Anthony Mwaura was in charge of UDA elections, UDA nominations, and was a party operative based at the Hustlers Plaza. Then later on, he was appointed to the chair of the KRA, taking over from Francis Mudaura. And during that swearing in, this photo emerged. This is a photo. This photo was largely linked to be the business moguls behind William Ruto's presidency. And of course, if you have been following, you realize that there's been a discussion that some of these people that supported William Ruto at the campaign trail, they're now being injected in the public sector. And of course, most of them would also want some sort of amnesty or immunity from the tax issues. Now, this is a very clear appeal to the president that we must have vigilance. And if you want to do things different, it should have the good intention. Otherwise, you run the risk of recycling problems that these problems might metamorphosize. I personally agree. I have been reading a couple of articles on how investors who wanted to invest in the country were complaining that it was the criminal justice system was kind of meted on them and they could not establish their businesses here during Uhuru's time. It was because of, we have bureaucracy and a lot of cartels that were at play. Today, in my reading, I bumped on a very interesting article by expert Tom Mshindi. I don't want to plagiarize, so it's good also to do that reference. That's the academic way. Now, in 2017, Chris Kipto, who was permanent secretary in the Ministry of Trade, he's currently in Treasury, adopted what was called Kenya Local Content Mechanism. And this Kenya Local Content Mechanism is one of the interventions is one of the policies that was seen as helping to improve the local manufacturing back here. We have many other things that we can produce here. And just banning importation, of course, starting with iron and steel, is so clear that maybe you're doing it because of that relationship. Because some of these things might not be a policy. You just need to clip other importation and stop, then this person runs the business. But PS Chris Kipto made this policy, and that policy is what is stated here. The article is the one you're seeing: avoid protectionism and promote productivity instead. So what was in that policy was this. It defines local content mechanism as making of specific parts of a product using indigenous local material resource in a host country to complete a product from a foreign country. That's what is happening in the motor industry. That what would actually help our local industries here is to make sure that if there is a product from a foreign country, and there is local materials here that can be used, to complete production of that material. Then you procure the materials back home. The advantage of this policy was that it has the potential of creating endless supply chain for local content products manufactured in Kenya. So that's why I keep on saying this, that President Ruto should just pick these policies. This country has a lot. In fact, President Uhuru Kenyatta invested a lot in policy and research. That's one thing things that you not be told, but President really did their best. And by the way, Bless will tell you that people in the public sector are more acquitted and competent, even in these jobs, than even people from the private sector. So most of what this is saying is something that can help in good spirit of even protecting your companies here, instead of picking some one or two and you give them some amnesty because of political expediency. I want you to listen to the way I think the CEO of DEF2 was speaking. Looks a very political tone.
1,000, actually I can say the hustlers, which made us win this, the last election. 1,000 hustlers is working and another 1,500 will be working. I was one of the hustlers, sir. Because you can't forget your root.
Well, now, the giant in the house is not what that policy that now starting with the steel and iron imports. If you want to know, that farm is producing their own electricity. The problem is the cost of energy, which is key catalyst in manufacturing, and it is still worrying. The manufacturers are now opting to produce their own power instead of tapping from the national grid. Now, this other article here is another one for you. Yes, we gather this material so that when we do this analysis, you don't tell us we are doing propaganda. So, this was Nation saying, expect high power bills soon. For those who read Nation on Sunday, yes, this was Nation on Sunday. That article was done there. It's one of the weekly review by Chirchir's Power Bills Shocker. So, Chirchir has his work cut out for him. If there is something that is affecting our manufacturing, is actually the cost of power. Talk to the captain of industries. It's the cost of power, and this one is one area that rests in the desk of William Samoei Ruto. President Ruto is walking a tightrope over increased tariffs that will shoot electricity bills. This is against Uhuru's low power regime. Immediately, if there is one thing that has been increasing secretly, is the cost of power. Token, Kilipa, it keeps on changing. Energy can be well managed from our country, and we can buy it at a low price because our geothermal source is cheaper. So we have plenty of it because our biggest geothermal source is water, and we have plenty of water. Now, this article is talking about IPP. Why the cost of fuel is high? Why the cost of electricity is high? IPP is independent private producers, independent power producers or power plants. These are people that they establish their own spaces. So if you read this article, there's somewhere it's saying, you need to get it for you, that electricity prices could skyrocket because the government has to raise revenue to pay the latest set of independent power producers to join the national grid. The weekly review has seen a letter from Energy and Petroleum Authority, EPRA, directing Kenya Power to submit a tariff application. I don't know. We are also changing the board, and this is a problem that has to be solved. Uhuru Kenyatta in 2021 made a special task force to relook into interventions in the energy sector. And one of the biggest things that came out and was so trending is the way the equipments are leased at a very high price. And I remember this issue of leasing is where things are not going right, because even at KQ, the problem was that we are leasing aeroplanes at a very high price. Now, we can talk about importation. We can talk about the policies on importation. But President Ruto must do some very two things. One, just dismantle the cartels, be it from the energy sector or from the policy management sector, because I think the president once said that some people would twist government policies to favor import so that they lock out the investors in the country. So I think on this one, Chirchir must roll his sleeves. We are encouraged to use, there is other alternative conflict resolution mechanisms to allow corporates to solve disputes faster instead of dragging cases in court, which alternative conflict resolution can even see the company still running as cases are handled on the other end. So the cartel, I don't know what the president will have that. I doubt whether he has that. I don't doubt his potential, but I doubt the intention, whether the intention is there. Implement last policies that Uhuru Kenyatta had. Don't start from like you took over, like government started over yesterday. We've been here. The institutional memory is here. And if you do your research, you will realize that, in fact, that local content content mechanism act, it's good. If you implement that, you're going to help many people. You are going to help many other people in this country, and we're going to elaborate the supply chain. So starting from scratch, that we've sat with our specialists, they've said we want to do that. We've started, just pick the other. We have institutional memory. This government is existing. So pick one file, look at what can be looked at. And with this, you'll realize that you can actually support our manufacturing by making sure that we still embrace competition.